President-elect Trump has selected Keith Kellogg to the new role of Special Envoy for the Ukraine-Russia war. In Trump's first administration, Kellogg was Chief of Staff for the White House National Security Council. Here for a discussion on this is Kervin Oakman. He's the former lead intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance coordinator for the U.S. Army in Europe and the host of This Week Explained podcast. Kervin, great to have you with us this morning. Do you see the reason for this new Special Envoy position as being a push for negotiation to end the war?
Well, first, once again, thank you for having me on to talk about this very important nomination. Also, happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the United States. Please stay safe. But I really want to dig into this because I think no matter what side you sit on, whether you want more funds sent to Ukraine or you want, a brokered peace deal that stops all of the fighting there, this is the best candidate that could have been nominated for this position. And why do I say that? We have to listen to what he has said in the past, and retired General Kellogg has been, very supportive of Ukraine. He has pushed back against Russian demands. Said that actually, if Putin doesn't come to the negotiating table in good faith, with a key word there, good faith, then the U.S. just needs to send everything they have to Ukraine to fight this war and stop it. So he's going to be very hawkish there. He's also. He was brought in after his retirement for the Iraq war to slice through the bureaucracy that's there. So that's another aspect of this. Trump said, boy, day one, he wants this war over. He wants to broker a peace deal there. This is the guy to do it. He wants to cut through all the red tape and kind of get this done.
Understood, Kervin. And Lieutenant General Kellogg wrote a paper in the America First Policy Institute. In it, he said that as soon as this war became a war of attrition, a stalemate, that was when it was in the United States' best interest and the best interest of the world and Ukraine to find a way to end this war through ceasefire negotiation. Based on what you're seeing in the battleground, is that your assessment?
Yeah, absolutely. I've said it from the moment we saw that this was a war of attrition, as you just said. A war of attrition actually benefits Russia. That means they have more troops to put into this war. And so as the war drags on and there's less aid available for Ukraine, that's going to give Russia a better opportunity at the negotiating table. If you do it right now, each country is at a stalemate. If you freeze it along the lines now, that gives Russia those annexed regions. But what does that do for Ukraine in Kursk? So those are kind of conversations that are going to be having. They're going to be having. This isn't going to be let's broker a peace deal and everybody comes to the table and says kumbaya. These are going to be days, weeks, months of discussions to figure out what is an actual fair peace deal for both countries, because it is a stalemate. So with neither country winning, that's where we're going to have to be. And so we're seeing Russia make a big push. They want to actually gain more land now before they can get to the negotiating table, to add that to the list of demands. And Ukraine's making that push in Kursk as well to try to regain some of the Russian land that they took over and maybe bring that into the negotiations.
Right, and further on what you're saying, Kervin, the future potential national security advisor to Trump, Mike Waltz, he's probably going to build on what Kellogg is saying in this proposals to end the war, in that there would probably go for a ceasefire along the front lines to cool things off, bring both sides to the negotiating table, and then try to get European and NATO countries to foot the bill for the support for Ukraine in the meantime. Now, what are you seeing from the Kremlin here? They're very unhappy about U.S. weapons, those missiles being used inside Russia. They're threatening to target these decision centers. How much is on Kellogg's hands, if confirmed, when this all unfolds?
Oh, there's a lot, because Trump has said he will, by day one, broker a peace deal, and everybody has heard it, and the media keeps putting that out there because it's true. He did say that. And so they're going to hold his feet to the fire, and Trump is going to hold General Kellogg's feet to the fire in order to make this deal happen. But this is the guy to do it. He is not easily pushed over. He is loud and boisterous, and he can get in there and broker a deal. And he has said it from the start: peace through strength. If Putin doesn't want to come to the table in good faith, then Ukraine, all the handcuffs are off, and Ukraine can go full on with even more U.S. aid. Now, on the flip side, if Zelensky doesn't want to come to the table in good faith because he doesn't want to let up those annexed regions in Ukraine, there is still peace through strength, meaning the U.S. completely removes all funding and all support for Ukraine until Zelensky comes to the table. So those are going to be the two things that General Kellogg is going to tell these two leaders, and he's going to have the full backing of President-elect Donald J. Trump.
So this war has gone on for over 2.5 years. Obviously, we haven't seen a peace deal materialize just yet. It's not something that's unheard of, though. Even Zelensky laid out some lofty goals for a peace agreement at the G20 summit, in which Russia couldn't be forced to agree to, so obviously it never came to fruition. But he's otherwise shown no interest in negotiating. Will that change with Trump at the helm, considering that Trump might be opposed to American funding going to Ukraine in the same magnitude that it is now?
Yeah, I absolutely think it is going to change. But what we're going to see is two leaders coming to the negotiating table, and they are going to put up their demands. And Russia's demands are to keep all the regions that they annexed, that they need assurances that that Ukraine's not going to be a NATO country. They're probably going to ask for conditions of Ukraine's EU ascension, that can't happen. And there's absolutely no nuclear weapons that'll be allowed within Ukraine. That's what Russia's going to say. Ukraine's going to come back and offer their demands, which is all the annexed regions, to include Crimea, go back to Ukraine. They get all that back. All Russian forces are removed from Ukraine, and Russia agrees to never attack Ukraine again. And both of those leaders are going to laugh at each other in the face, and then we'll see good faith negotiations as we sort of see the compromises happen.
Well, thank you for the excellent analysis this morning. Kervin Oquin, the former lead intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance coordinator for the U.S. Army in Europe.
Thank you so much for having me, and stay safe out there.